Hello, everybody. This is Alex, the Sober Dad. Welcome to another episode of the Sobriety Journal. And today I wanted to talk about this very interesting idea that it really helps not only to stay sober, but it really helps you in all aspects of life. It took me a while to understand, but once I was able to internalize this, things started to change for me quite a bit. So this is the idea that you can create your own reality. You know very well that two people can hold the same type of facts but interpret them differently, right? We've all experienced that when we're having an argument with somebody, with a friend or a family member that has a different political view on things or religious view on things, and how people can interpret things very differently. So reality is what we make of it. So how is that useful? How is that relevant in sobriety, or for that matter, for anything that you're trying to accomplish in life? What happens is many times we carry within ourselves this series of beliefs or views of the world that may or may not be true. As a matter of fact, I would argue that most of the views that we carry within ourselves are distorted in some kind of way. And this becomes really important when some of these ideas and views make us feel in such a way that drives us to drinking or doing other type of activities that are harmful for us. A lot of the most pernicious type of ideas are the ideas that we hold about ourselves. Many times we discount the things that we do in life. We tend to be our own worst critic and put ourselves down in a way that we don't do with other people. You end up feeling bad about yourself. And the thing with drinking is that many times it's precipitated by emotional upsets. But what if we didn't have to feel those strong emotions in the first place by interpreting the things that happen to us in a different way, in a different light? Because in life, it is all about perspective. There really isn't anything else. It's just how you interpret the facts of life. It doesn't mean that bad things and good things don't happen. But if you think about it, for something to be good or bad, you have to call it that. You have to interpret it as good or as bad. So it's really up to you. And I know what you're thinking is like, how could you say that, when there is so much hardship in the world, so many terrible things and terrible tragedies happening all the time? That is true, but those are facts of life. How things affect you is not universal. The same thing can affect different people different way. And it doesn't mean that some people are less caring. You can choose to have the demeanor and behave and react to things in a way that is actually helpful for you to fulfill your goals. In this case, to stay sober, to not drink. So there is a choice that you can make. When things happen, you can let them affect you. They can let them stress you out and produce anxiety or make you feel sad or angry. Or you can interpret things in a way that don't elicit such a strong emotions within you. And I would say that this was very important in my own recovery because I am a very anxious person. I tend to get worried by a lot of things. And like Mark Twain said, in my life, I lived through a lot of tragedies. Even some of them were real. What he meant by that is that we tend to make things worse than what they are in our own mind. We tend to worry about things that are unlikely to happen, things that we think might be terrible, but the chances for them happening are so low that it's just not worth the worrying. But we do that. So we go on and on feeling anxious and upset about things that we probably shouldn't be worrying about so much. So I want to leave you with this. You have to look at the things in your life that make you feel very upset, that make you feel angry, that make you feel sad, and figure out whether these things are really worth it, in the sense that, are they real? Because you want to live a good life. You want to live a calm life. You want to live a life according to your values and your goals. And you don't want things on the outside world to constantly interfere with this. You have to filter out all this information that is not useful to you, that is not valuable to you, and act according to the things that you really care about, according to the things that are important to you. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense. All right? This is Alex, the Sober Dad. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you in the next episode.